Hello my friends, the situation in Bakhmut is not really nice, so let's zoom to this area. Russia put all of their forces to try to encircle the city from one direction from the north. If we go to the timeline, you may see it was yesterday and it is today, so it is today, so they moved quite fast. Their main advancement happened in Yahidne. Over here they partially took this small, very small village, and I would say this gray area is not far away from Hromove, which is on the crucial supply line that Ukrainian army is using right now. Actually, this distance is closer even compared to the distance that is from this red line and to the Chasiv Yar. Russians also moved their forces over here, but this is not significant because here we have the big lake and the rivers, and I think they're gonna advance from Yahidne. So after all, they're gonna go to that same vector to the Bakhmut city. As for the city itself, you can see that it's been divided by this gray area. It means that Russians occupied quite a lot of part of the residential area nowadays. Unfortunately, we call it the private sector of the city, then there are just small houses out there, and the main part is here. The central part of Bakhmut is still controlled by Ukrainian forces, and today the Ukrainian soldier with the call sign Magyar published a video saying that Russia is moving from the north trying to encircle the Bakhmut, and that is what we see on this map. Why is it happening like that? Because before we spoke about the huge crisis in the Wagner supplies, but now they have the agreement with the Russian forces. Today, Prigozhin, the leader of the Wagner group, published that they have the common solution for the Wagner army, and the Russian regular army will supply Wagners with everything they need. However, Wagners are still waiting for the new shells, and now they decided to throw everything they have because they are sure that they will be supplied. And this is very bad and dramatic situation for Ukraine. As you can see, everything may change in a matter of days, and the situation on the front lines as well. Still Wagner pushes, and still Ukrainian forces are in the city, and I would say it's too early to withdraw our forces from Bakhmut because this supply road still connects the city with the Ukrainian controlled territory. But the risk of encirclement now is much higher. And we have some of the news about Transnistria. The situation there is escalating day by day. The local authorities of the pro-Russian government of Transnistria claimed that Ukrainian forces concentrated lots of the troops near to the border and planning the massive attack on their territory. Actually, there is one big military base, and this base is really huge. If Ukrainian forces would take it under control, my friends, will have lots of the ammunitions, and now we are in lack of the Soviet-made ammunitions. We basically received the Western weapons because we already wasted the most part of the Soviet resources. But we are not going to occupy this territory. We are not Russia. From the Ukrainian side, there are some accusations that Russia is planning the massive attack on Moldova, and in that case, Ukraine may help the neighboring country to withstand sovereign right. And it's usual the conflicting sides share completely different opinion. So far, we don't know who is right, but maybe something is going to happen in that region. And Russia has there around 3,000 troops who are mostly locals who got the Russian passports and now serve for Transnistrian army and Russian army. And they don't have really the heavy equipment, maybe just some of the units. So for Ukrainian army, it would be easy to get control over this territory and then pass it to Moldova. The Belarus dictator Lukashenko said that there is no major concentration of the forces from the Ukrainian side, Lithuanian or Poland side to try to get control over some sort of the Belarusian territories. And remember, just 1 year ago, he said that Ukraine was planning to attack Belarusian territory from 4 directions. Yeah, I'm recording this video on 23rd of February, but going to publish it on 24th local time over here in Europe. So 1 year since the war has been started. And on 24th, I'm kind of busy with other projects, but I'll find the time to attend the Enforcer's live stream where you can find me. The Enforcer is also the influencer, pro-Ukrainian one from United States of America, and I'm gonna join his live stream. You may find the information about it in the community tab of my channel. The Ukrainian resolution was voted today in United Nations and 141 countries supported us. Just 7 voted against it. Interesting that Iran didn't follow the Russian route. This is the Ukrainian military cemetery in Lviv, and there are lots of the new graves. Unfortunately, this war takes many lives. The European Union still didn't manage to agree on the new sanctions package on Russia today, and they're going to resume the meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Hopefully they'll come out with something. This is Crimea, and something happened to the rails, maybe corrosion that cut Russian supplies. Russians use oil to lubricate your rails to avoid corrosion. Poland recently cut all of the cargo road supplies from Belarus and to Belarus, and also they start to build some of the defense lines on the border with Belarus. And those are some of the ammunitions that Wagner Group received. You can see the corrosion, everywhere is corrosion, the bullets are rusty. And here we have the document of supplies, so thousands of ammunitions, 152nd millimeter. I think those are in good state compared to those pictures that we have just seen. What's interesting that one of the chiefs of the military branch command has the same name as me, Denis Davidov, or maybe he's Dmitro Davidov. Yeah, this name and surname is quite popular in Russia too. According to the Financial Times article, Putin didn't notice the close people from his circle that he decided to start the war 1 year ago. Even Lavrov, the foreign minister of the Russian Federation, knew about it few hours before invasion started. And that's why there is the big group of the Russian elite who are very skeptical about the current Russian president, and that creates a big crack in the Russian regime. And the New York Times article says that the supplyment of the long-range missiles to Ukrainian army may not be announced until the weapons are used on the front lines. And United States officials say that they will top secret some of the supplies to Ukraine. Some of the explosions were reported at Iranian military base. It is happening just right now while I'm recording this video, so it's hard to say what caused that. Yeah, local chats in Transnistria are interesting. We are doomed, we need to evacuate, and mostly, yeah, civilians write those messages on their local Telegram groups, and I would say maybe it's time to evacuate for them. Because I remember my evacuation 1 year ago, it was quite abrupt and I should have prepared better. This is Prigozhin and the Wagner army. They have the complete dissonance in their heads if they post the Soviet flags together with imperialistic flag, because those sides were fighting between each other. There was the civil war. After it, the Russian Empire collapsed. But now we see the new Russian Empire that doesn't care what symbols it has. So why does the Russian officials finally decided to supply Wagners with ammunition? Basically because Prigozhin rose the public campaign about it, and basically Shoigu and Gerasimov, the Russian army generals, had no other choice, because in the eyes of the patriotic Russian community, they would look like traitors in that case. And just look, under the Putin's speech, we have all the comments from the Russian people saying, "Give the shells to Wagner, give the shells to Wagner, they need shells." And it also says that the great part of the Russian population supports the massacres of the Russian government. Russian Telegram channels continue to publish the trophy tanks that Ukrainian army was able to capture. So this is T-90, and behind we have T-72B3, modernized Russian tanks, but now fighting for Ukraine. And also they claim that today they shut down the Ukrainian Bayraktar drone TB2, and I think yes, it could be the part of the Ukrainian drone, especially this landing gear over here. You may compare it with a real photo, and yes, it could be Bayraktar. Unfortunately, Ukraine lost quite a lot of those birds. But this morning, Russia lost Sukhoi Su-25 attack airplane. At first, it was reported that pilot survived, but later it was confirmed that the pilot lost his life in that accident. The airplane wasn't shut down. However, it was returning to the base from the military mission in Ukraine, and it might sustain some of the damages before. And we have the information from Der Spiegel that China is ready to supply the kamikaze drone to the Russian army. They speak about the possible 100 drones delivery in April. I think that in that case China would feel the sanctions. And speaking more about Transnistria, I'm just gonna show you the biggest ammunition depot that they have. This is Kabasna village, and if we zoom in and switch to the satellite image, you may see here, this is the huge ammunition depot over here and in this city also from this side. Yeah, here you can see the border with Moldova because Transnistria is not internationally recognized. That is why it is Moldova, but really you see that it's very near to Ukrainian border, and for Ukrainian soldiers it would be awesome to get access to that storage. And now, yes, it's 24th of February. The time has just changed for me in this area, and it's 1 year of war. Unimaginable. It's like it started yesterday, but so many people died because of the Russian stupid aggression. I consider this as the most stupid war in the human history, because Russia attacked the country for basically no reason. Just because Russia's leaders are so brainwashed by their own propaganda and believe in nonsense. It's just crazy, my friends, what is happening in my country, and it's terrible. Well, my friends, I just hope that this war finishes this year. Now, please press the like to this channel, and also if you want to support my job, there are some links below. You can do it following me on Patreon or on the membership or sponsorship on YouTube channel. And by the way, today I'll conduct some short but special stream for my supporters. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.